do my amp up motion. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Three Amigos, holiday edition. So we'll take it a little bit light, a little free flowing. We're off the outline today. Michael, you look like you are in front of a large hill of some kind. Where are you?
Oh, this is my Zoom backdrop. I got a new. I'm at the Ritz in Aspen, just hanging out. These are the Aspen High School kids. It is
Just
not
hanging
open
out
up
at
to
the
the public,
Ritz.
but I thought I would come up here.
Just hanging out
Yeah,
at the
I mean
Ritz,
it's nice right now.
That's nice. My
Yeah,
puppy has a stomach
hey,
condition, and I've been
Oh, yeah?
cleaning up. Yeah, I've been cleaning up little messes off the floor several times this morning. So yeah, we're on the same level.
It's like your pup.
Anyway, it's Three Amigos. We talk about the three most popular indices that our traders are trading in the trading combine, and we also kind of frame out the market and a few other things. Right now, we're kind of in a lull because it is Thanksgiving week coming up in the United States. We kind of have a little bit of the hangover from all that run up to the election, which, though not technically over for yet another week, we can say is mostly over.
I like how my term hangover
Yeah, I
has
think
really stuck across the board.
Yeah, it's just a mess, but the markets don't seem to care much. It's been sort of a choppy week, hitting those highs. I was looking at the S&P 500 chart. Little 3 attempts already at that sort of 3,600 type level around there, and hasn't been able to break through yet. So, are we just kind of sitting there holding tight for the rest of the year?
I don't know if it's rest of the year. I think right now, I read an article the other day, and there's a really interesting line. And it is the rising cases of coronavirus have overshadowed the positive developments in the vaccine sector on this. I thought it was really interesting. And I think,
Yeah, no, I was going to cut you off because I thought you were going to say something about the positive effects of what it's doing. Okay, so I'm gonna have my take when you go.
I thought it was really an interesting way to put it. Like, you came in Monday, and we did this last week as well with Pfizer and now Moderna this week. And the initial reaction last week was really exciting. This week it was like, you know what? Doesn't really matter. We're seeing new cases rising cases each and every day. So the vaccine doesn't really mean diddly squat until we have it start getting out there. And I thought that was just an interesting take on it. And I liked it.
Yeah.
I think, I thought you were going to say something a little bit different, but I agree with that take. But I also think that the market's definitely a futuristic player. It's looking in the forward. I think right now is what's happening is the vaccine is the market's looking at this whole thing as like, holy cow, we got everybody in the S&P 500 to lean up. We got everybody pruned. We got a more efficient workforce. If we need to do any changes to policies or anything, we just blame it on COVID. And which okay, rightfully so or not, whatever. But the whole point about it is you're reading about all these companies that are leaner than they ever have been, that are more profitable than they ever have been. And I'm starting to think, I'm like, okay, that's why it doesn't care about vaccines, because why would it care about vaccines? It cares about profitability. It cares about, the underlying product, which is that stock, each one of these stocks. So I think it's really interesting just to see how the markets are like kind of baking in the future more efficient business. And if you're not digital, if you're not lean, it doesn't really work. And if you're not flexible, so to me, I think a lot of this, what the market's kind of with the market staying on the highs that they are right now, it's just kind of looking for another step. And right now it's just kind of transition.
Do you think the markets have already started because this is where I'm starting to lean, my opinion, that the markets are already starting to factor in that the vaccine's here and going to happen, and that's why we're not seeing it spill over?
That's what I think. And then the last point about that, I just think that companies were able to lean up during all this time, and the ones that are doing well, which we all know, the FANGs just they're moving the whole index. I'm in Slack right now. I've been in Slack stock, and I really, really like that stock. We're on it all the time, and it hasn't moved at all. And I'm sitting there every day. I'm like, where's it at now? And it's one of the ones that I'm watching. I'm not really a stock. I put more things into real estate and whatnot, but there's some stocks. But as far as like the techie stuff, it's not moving. But then you see the fangs and they're cruising. But I see why lean. Everybody's now, instead of the mom getting out of her car and unhooking the kids from the thing, going inside, grabbing things off the counter, putting them in the counter, bagging them. Now they just like call, pick up, done. And it's just the pickups and the deliveries are through the roof for Targets and Walgreens, not Walgreens, but Walmarts and of course the Amazon. So it's interesting.
Yeah, it is incredible.
I thought it was interesting. You mentioned Slack.
Habits have changed.
Slack really hasn't taken off, but you're in it. The one I've liked, I've been sitting on for a really long time. I'm long about $118 on Boeing. And I think it was Tuesday morning. I woke up amped up, ready to see Boeing take off, skyrocketing. I got like a notification at 4 a.m. that the FAA approved the 737 MAX. First thing I do is I open up my phone to check where my Boeing stock's at. And I think I ended up the day like down a little bit of money on Boeing. And I was like, at first I was really bummed. I had my brother was staying at my house. He got it in Boeing at like $97. He got a great buy on it, and he was ready to wake up and see the same thing. He's like, why didn't it take off? Why didn't it take off? And then I started to realize that I go, just because the FAA approved it, it doesn't mean the airlines even want it. They don't have the money to spend on it. They are doing just fine with the minimized routes that they're flying. They're struggling just in general. And the last thing they're going to do is go spend billions and billions of dollars on new aircraft if they can make what they have work.
Yeah. I mean, it is really the rosiest picture of the future economy. You talk about looking to the future and the companies are profitable now and stuff, but it just seems to me that there is a relentless optimism in the market. And I would be careful as we talk about like the year ending, if we kind of see a redux of what happened in 2018, where you have the market that's, to everyone's surprise, for where we've gone in 2020 is up quite a bit this year if people don't start pruning some profits before the end of the year. So I would keep an eye on that. I think this next week, of course, is going to be slow. We have Thanksgiving coming up. That's why, Dan, you indicated you weren't even going to give specific levels for this week.
Yep. Yeah, I'm looking at next week. First off, I will be very upfront with every single person. I'm not looking at the markets next week. To be honest with you, could really care less. I've got nothing on.
Here's what I would do next week to everybody listening is instead of looking at levels, talk to your friends and family on your Zooms when you catch up and find out what their new habits are. Because when we talk about like the future and we talk about pickups and deliveries and all that, and I talked to my sister and she's like, well, it's great. I just go and I pick up. I don't have to get out. The kids, unbuckle each kid and put them in car seats and put them in strollers, all that stuff. She's like, I just go and pick up. And they put it in my back seat. And after COVID, do you think she's going to go back to unclicking, buckling and shelves and off shelves and in bags and all that stuff? No, I just think that we should be, one thing I wish I had in college was more psych classes, but I did economics. Economics psych would be a great one. But just talk to people next week, tune out of the markets for a little bit, find out about human behavior, what's changing, what's mom and dad doing differently. Oh, you know, mom's going to pick up stuff, or she calls ahead, or she has an app now for a certain product. She's not deleting that when the vaccine shows up. So to me, I think new habits are forming and they're going to be here. And I think that's what the market is up here at these levels, sort of excited about.
Yeah, it's a whole branch of behavioral economics.
I like you say that. I was thinking back a while back, we were, or still are, pretty active in a little stock picking app. And I remember Mondays, I was chatting with you Monday morning and you said to me, you go, look, always buy Monster Monday mornings. Everyone's struggling from the weekend. And I thought about it and I started buying Monster Monday mornings. And every Monday I was making money because Monster would spike on Mondays. How realistic was it?
I don't know. That's what it is. I mean, sometimes you could talk yourself into
it was working. It was working for me. But I think it's exactly that. You start asking what products are people using right now. We saw Zoom take off the way it did. Microsoft instituted all their new programs for this work from home. Really anything in the tech sector that is taking something and innovating on it. Those are the stocks that, create some intrigue.
Speaking of Zoom, they're giving it, if they aren't already crushing it, they're giving away opening it up, their whole system kind of during Thanksgiving, so families can do it. So of course it's gonna
for the holidays, no 40-minute limit.
Yeah, now grandma that's used to, a phone call does a Zoom, and she's doing that every year from here on out. So,
So I guess that our advice instead of levels for this week is to look forward at the disruptions, because now that we're kind of see the light at the end of the tunnel, perhaps, I think Michael's 100% right, where things are not going to go back to the way they are. I think especially with the workplace, we've essentially advanced, I think, a decade or 15 years as far as the evolution of where we always thought the workplace was going. And we did it in 10 months or whatever. And that has huge implications going forward. So
I have a question on that. Michael, you're the real estate guy here in this group. When you look at the future of the real estate from the business side, this corporate, commercial real estate, where do you see that going? I mean, obviously there has to be some sort of innovation there, right? It's no longer going to go back to these big offices with cubicles and 100 people working on a floor. Where does it go from here?
I thought WeWork was a horrible play because they had some, but like now as COVID's happening, it's like people will eventually want to go work with other people. A vaccine plus six. I keep saying vaccine plus 6 months. Once you have a vaccine, some people are going to take it. Some people won't. Some people, definitely the people that need it right away, need to have it. But after 6 months, I think the masks will go away. And I personally think that, I'm going to go whatever direction CDC says. But I think people want to go back to, I miss working with you guys. I miss being in the hall with you guys and all that kind of stuff. I know other people do that in cultures that are good. If cultures that are horrible, then I'm sure, the stay away from everybody and alienate yourself will still stay in play after that. But until then, I think the co-share work sharing places will be good, but owning a whole floor, like huge, square footage, I think you could do a lot more with a lot less.
Yeah, I think the whole entire world has realized this from the business perspective, the cost savings of employees working from home, even if they are covering some of their expenses at their house. It's probably a hell of a lot cheaper than what it was costing to keep the lights on and the chairs going and everything else within an office.
Totally agree.
Well, in the spirit of the week, since we're not doing levels, do you want to just go around and say what we're all thankful for and then wrap up?
I'm down with that.
All right. Well, I'll kick things off and
there
say,
you go.
yeah, I'm super thankful to have gotten through all this relatively healthy, maybe a few pounds heavier. But I am really happy in the science and the medical breakthroughs that made these vaccines possible. So that's something that I will be thankful for this Thanksgiving. Dan?
I will be thankful for the fact that I've used this time to actually start working out a little bit heavier, lost some pounds, and got that back on track. And also the opportunity it's given me to come live here in a different place. I'm living in Wisconsin now, kind of my little slice of heaven up here. It's given me that freedom and opportunity to do that. I think it's amazing. And I'm fortunate that I do have family that have been in my little social distancing bubble for the last 9 months, I think now. So I at least get to spend some Thanksgiving with them. So I'm looking forward to that.
That's great. I'm, as traders, we know this word I'm going to say. I'm grateful and thankful for being comfortable while being uncomfortable, because we have all been trying to get comfortable while we are all uncomfortable. Hence, you guys are in different locations. Everybody's kind of tuning in from wherever, and habits, going back to the thing before, new habits are forming. So watching the human race evolve and develop and adapt to situations, that's just like markets. That's just like traders have to do in the markets. And it's fun to see us as a whole population, whole world actually, have to start shifting just a little bit of the things we do and how we do it, all that together. So it's that to me is what I'm thankful for, is that we are all able to do that.
Right on. Well, everybody out there, stay comfortable this week and then get uncomfortable. Gotta live on the edge, right?
Yeah.
I think that's a good place to sign off. Guys, have a wonderful Thanksgiving if I don't see you before then. And in the meantime, that's all for me. You guys
I have one thing,
Dan?
I do.
Yes.
Next week, there won't be any forecast recap or coach's playbook. We're all taking that time off, but we didn't go without nothing coming out. So next week we have a great video series that's going to be coming out throughout Sunday through Friday. Make sure you check them out. Some really great stuff there, talking about time off, talking about my favorite one that I think everyone's going to love. John Hoagland sat down and is going to show you guys exactly how and why he sets up his charts the way he does. So make sure you guys check those things out. I think they'll be pretty great.
The professor.
It's watching the master at work. I love it. All right, everybody. Have a great Thanksgiving. We'll see you 2 weeks from now.